Hello, doctor.
How are you?
Yes, fine. How are you,
I'm
doctor?
very good. It's morning tea time.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we just finished our tea time. How about you? Have you had your breakfast, lunch?
Yeah, lunch. I had lunch.
Dinner,
It's nearly it's
Okay.
nearly 2 o'clock here.
Oh, okay. So you had your lunch yet?
Yes, I had lunch earlier.
Okay, that's good. So, are you ready to
Yes,
start?
I am.
Okay. So, okay, over to you, doctor.
Okay, thank you very much for having me today again. I hope that everyone is having a good time enjoying the conference. My name is Dr. Mei Lim. So it's my honor to be chairing this session. Today, I believe that we have 5 presenters. So let's welcome the first presenter, Muhammad Erfino Johari. I'm very excited about this paper. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So we have 10 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes Q&A. So when you're ready.
Yes. Can you see the slide, doctor?
Yes, I can.
Sebentar ya. Slide something. Okay, that's good. So, next slide, previous slide, and laser. Right. Is it on? Testing. Okay.
So I'll let the presenter know when we have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi. And a very good morning to all. The chairperson, Dr. Meli from Adelaide, Australia, the organizing committees and participants, colleagues and academicians. My name is Erfino Johari. I'm from UPTM, Universiti Polytech Malaysia, based in Taman Shamelin Perkasa in Kuala Lumpur. And along with me, my co-researchers, Prof. Madya, Dr. Nur Azmi Anas from UITM Perak, same like Dr. Lim. Prof. Fauzi Al-Bakur, he's from the Andalus University of Science in Istanbul. Dr. Cik Shukri, Muhammad Noor, Muhammad Marzuki, and Abdul Munir. And I'm very honored to be here before you to present our study on the topic entitled Educational Zakat Aid in Malaysian Higher Education. Allow me to start and bore you with a few seconds as we are now in Bandung with a total population of, if I'm not mistaken, 5 million people in Indonesia. Let me start with one of the famous quote of Indonesia. In Indonesian language, keberhasilan bukanlah milik orang yang pintar. Keberhasilan adalah kepunyaan mereka yang sentiasa berusaha. Translation in English, success is not possessed by educated people. It belongs to those who try everlastingly. It is actually quoted by the 3rd president of Indonesia, the former president of Indonesia. As for the background, zakat is the annual alms giving, or giving to the charity, or giving to the needy. So the educational zakat aid, or EZA, is one of the assistances given to asnaf who are entitled and eligible to receive it. And as for the higher education institution students, early EZA is given to any local or overseas office, and HEI-sponsored assistance is paid manually. It covers the basic needs, the small mess use it for other purposes, as well sometimes the student might have used it for the unnecessary accessories or expenses, but moreover critically, the aid from the EZA sometimes are spent imprudently. So this study aims to first describe the concept of EZA from an Islamic perspective, and second, to analyze its assistance to Malaysian higher education students. Some notes from the literature review. All advantages in this higher education industry, for all we know that education is an industry, so higher education is a higher industry, whereby the education supplies an individual with the long-term advantages, namely knowledge production, workforce skills, discipline, and motivation. Towards associating the zakat, the higher education, as well as the economic growth, it is found that zakat and education expenditure are essential factors in determining the growth of the economics. The implication of the zakat collections, as well as eventually the distributions, on improvements in the well-being of the community, especially for the Muslims, which is in line with the Maqasid Sharia, which is the main purposes of Islamic jurisprudence and teaching. EZA were channeled for sustenance purposes, emergency aid, and industrial training aid, and it is one of the most critical forms of assistance to the impoverished and poor asnaf, those who are in the need, because education is a method or ticket for them to success, as well to have a game changer for them and their families and out from the poverty. Next, please. This is the educational institution model through zakat funds financing, which comprises of three main elements. First, facilities. Second one is human capital, and the third one is the study structure. As for the study structure, it comprises of study courses, the contribution of zakat fund or EZA via student activities, the quality assurance and accreditations, as well as support education for learning and research, whereby in terms of nurturing the human capital, the fund from the contribution of EZA also can be benefited by the academic staff, institution management, student management, and financial management. And last but not least, the facilities, also covering the institution development and planning, location and physical facilities, and also the background, the concept and rationale of the establishment of this fund. A brief on the methodology. For this study, we choose the research design on the qualitative method, on the case study, with the purpose of sampling, then the informants involving 5 Malaysian zakat experts with the semi-structured interview instrument, and at the end of the day, the output and the data is analyzed through a thematic analysis. And let's move on to the findings. As for the findings, the study showed and successfully managed to extract 2 main themes. Themes number 1 is EZA, the educational zakat aid concept in Islamic perspective, and under this we have outlined, based on this study, at least 22 sub-themes or the elements and factors that contributing towards the building of the concept of EZA in Islamic perspective. First, the fund education for the needy and less able. Second, equal access to education. Third, to improve the literacy. Fourth, knowledge of the community. The fifth element is the social justice in Islam. And the sixth, the equal opportunities in getting and assessing education. Seventh is the goal to change the family status quo from the social class or the lower social class. The eighth is the various fields in the wider context of fi sabilillah, the wider context of the recipient. The ninth is the The number 9 is for the zakat funds is allocated for educational development. Number 10, to empower the existing categories of impoverished asnaf. 11, it is also considered as a non-economic zakat, which increase educational opportunities. Number 12, the range of funding, starting right from the registration process of a new students up till the graduation or completion of the studies. Number 13 is the continuity of the asnaf group education. 14, it is in line with the basic principle of the concept of daruriyat, which is in line with the maqasid sharia, focusing on the preservation.
2 minutes still.
The 15 is a full-time students, coincide with Islamic law, enhance the world education beneficiaries, focusing on talented and interested Muslims, as well as to engage and benefits for the da'wah at large. And moving on to the next slide, please. And for the second theme is the EZA among the Malaysian higher education institutions. Among the 9 factors and elements is the diverse value-added recognitions, as well as not just self-financial, but educational materials as well. It is also intended to nurture the student potential development program assistance towards the professional certificate assistance, and also it is the zakat assistance are available for all groups and all cohorts and tertiary levels, and special incentive aids for the outstanding students. Next. This is to note that among the discussion that is shown in this study is EZE from the Islamic perspective. It is a one form of zakat assistance allocated for the development of education. It is also specially for the asnaf group and coincides with the Islamic law and implementation of the Islamic social justice, and provide equal opportunities in education to all Muslim beneficiaries. And second one, among the Malaysian higher education institutions is the issue of coverage, in which it covers not just the tuition fees, but also all the learning equipment aids. And at the end would be the acknowledgement for Malaysia. The study is actually contributing toward the star-based rating research system. We call it MARA in Malaysia. And to the conclusion of the studies, the finding of this study and research lead to new knowledge and core suggestions as a new strategies to not just outline the zakat or EZA concept, but also towards its implementation. And our suggestion would be the improvement suggestions for the EZA to upsurge the effectiveness of the EZA among students. Number 1, the zakat stakeholders must directly confront the students to identify their teaching and learning. Second, to establish zakat units in all higher education institutions to increase the impact of distribution. Third, to strengthen the roles and functions of zakat counters in all HEIs. To establish
I'm so sorry, time is up.
A database and a network. Thank you so much for listening and participating.
Thank you. That's a very interesting presentation and a very interesting study that you're doing. Now I'm going to open this to the floor to see if there's any questions from the audience. The zakat, the answer is yes. And in my personal capacity as also the chairman for the zakat unit in UPTM, my university, the level of zakat contribution also serve not just to the foundations and the diploma level students, but also up to the master's degree, master's and also PhD students. Depends on the availability as well as the entitlement and eligibility of any applicants with regards their study and the needs of the study. For example, we have just co-organized as well as collaborate with 2 of the biggest banks in Malaysia, and alhamdulillah they have they managed to contribute to us quite a number of
high specification of laptops for our degrees, masters, and PhD level students.
I have a question for you. So does it mean that this applies to postgraduate students doing research as well as those studying post-work?
Thank you, Dr. Melim. Yes, the answer is yes. It is also applied to all tertiary levels up to the postgraduate students. And the idea of having this EZA is to assist and contribute to the success of the degree students, by all means utilizing the materials that they need. But for the postgraduate students, masters and PhD, the zakat contributions or the educational zakat aid is also meant for them to publish their studies, their writings and articles in the index journal, such as Web of Science and other index journals which is ranked and recognized globally.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions?
How much is the allocation for the degree, master, and PhD students?
Okay, it's a good question. The allocations differs. It's not just because of their tertiary level, but we also look into other elements, which is the backgrounds of the families and how much are they actually needed for them to complete their course or their studies. For example, the contributions for degree students definitely different from the masters and PhD, and up till when could be one semester. We also contribute the zakat also to students throughout their studies, be it 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. So yeah, their social status and also their accelerate excellence, their current academic achievement also be one of the factors in determining the amount. There is no minimum or maximum. It is based on their needs to complete and to have success in their study.
So they need to apply every semester, or they need to only first semester they apply, then the allocation will be continued?
Oh yeah. Should the committee feels that any applicants deserve, they are entitled for the monthly allowances, then they will get the monthly allowances up till they are graduate. But there is also cases where we just contribute via the EZA, via the one-off payment or one-off contributions, so that they can use it annually, or should they want to extend the contribution, they need to reapply, and the committees will also re-examine their situation. Should their circumstances differ than previously, then the amount of contribution might differ and might be on a different mode. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation and for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We moved on to the second presentation, which is by Muhammad Ramadan Hamid.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm back. Okay, by the way, thank you to Dr. Mei-Ling for the introduction. So my name is Ramadan, and so today's presentation I'll be presenting a research title Exploring Hypertensive Patients' Experiences and Preferences with Online Health Education. So together with me virtually is my friend Muhammad Ridwan from Andalas University. However, he couldn't make it, but we have prepared a video presentation from Mr. Muhammad Ridwan. So could you please play the video?
Wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua, honorable audience. It is such an honor for both of us, Mr. Muhammad Ramadan Abdul Hamid, PhD, and myself, Muhammad Umar Ridwan, to be presenting our research in this international conference in Bandung, Indonesia, entitled Exploring Hypertensive Patient Experiences and Preferences Online Health Education. So, ladies and gentlemen, according to Malaysian National and Health Morbidity Survey in 2023, 29.2% of Malaysians have been diagnosed with hypertension. Patients are advised to manage their blood pressure through lifestyle changes and medication. And in addition to consulting doctors, many patients now also seek information online. And a study by Lim 2011 found that over 50% of surveyed patients in Malaysia use websites for health-related information. And of course, this growing trend has motivated current research. A little is known actually about the experiences and preferences of Malay patients regarding health education websites. So, ladies and gentlemen, you could see from the slides that this research is aimed to explore Malay hypertensive patients' overall user experience with existing hypertension education websites and preferences for web elements of websites. And the objectives are actually to explore patient experiences and perception of the existing website and to explore patient preferences for web elements. And next, I pass it to Mr. Muhammad Hamid. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Umar Ridwan. So I'll continue the presentation from here. All right, may I ask how many of you has hypertension? Or predict to have hypertension? All right, no need to answer me, you can answer in your heart. By the way, these are the things that are happening in Malaysia, that the number of hypertension is growing. Yeah. So as now we are moving into the 21st century and a lot of digital tools available, so there are increasing number of online health educations, especially the use of websites among the patients who will seek for information. So as for literature review, there are many complications of hypertension if it is uncontrolled. For example, like cardiovascular disease, heart failures, and many more. And eventually, if it is really uncontrolled and goes very, very high, it can lead to premature death. Yeah? So it's very dangerous because it has no symptoms at all, but suddenly you can have complications such as stroke and premature death. All right, now moving on to the methodology of this study, as we want to explore the preferences of patients with hypertension regarding to the use of websites. So we actually conducted using a qualitative approach in which we recruit patients with hypertension, a total of 14 of them from UITM Primary Care Specialist Clinic, because in this clinic there are a lot of hypertensive patients. And we actually conducted in two stages. The first stage, we exposed them to a website so that they can familiarize themselves with the website regarding hypertension. And the second stage, we will interview them using a face-validated questionnaire. So the interviewing session will explore on the experience of the usage using the website and what would be the preferences of web elements if we want to develop a website regarding hypertension. Now, for the first stage of the study, we come up with two themes. For these conferences, I just summarized everything. So we come up with two themes in terms of quality of the website. Secondly, we look at the design and appearance of the website. So based on the feedback from the participants, they are actually very satisfied with the website that we showed to them in terms of quality that defined based on website credibility and efficiency in terms of delivering the information to the patients. However, in terms of design and appearance, some of the participants reported that there are a lot of information. So when they browse through the website using the phones, it may not be suitable because there are too many information that they need to scroll down the phones, and it's actually something like never-ending stories. Yeah. So based on this, we come up with the second stage in which we want to explore the preferences. So we continue the interview and we come up with three themes. Right. For the first theme, we look at the content quality. Secondly, design and appearance, and thirdly, in terms of delivery strategies, in terms of information, what kind of format that they prefer. So we summarize it. So basically, the participants, they want the comprehensive information regarding the hypertension. Secondly, they want to have a theory part as well as the practical information. so that they can apply the information, and it must be culturally based. So that's why in this study we focus on the Malay patients for now, but we plan to explore to another ethnicities such as Chinese as well as Indians. And for the design and appearance, the participants, they would prefer a simple layout, and they want to have an easy navigation, because if you browse some websites, sometimes they are multi-layered. So they need to go to one page, to go to another page, to go to another page. So they do not want that, but they want in easy navigation. It means that the maximum navigation is up to 3 layers. Yeah. So another thing is that the delivery strategy. As now, people sometimes, some patients, I echoing what Mr. Arfino mentioned just now. We have visual patients, we have auditory, we have kinesthetic, we have digital auditory patients. So we have to use multiple strategies or delivery so that we can catch the eyes of the patients. So in terms of delivery strategy, they prefer to use multimedia such as videos, infographic and whatnot, as well as we need to chunk the information into small parts so that it won't be too lengthy for them to absorb all the information. And in terms of
We have
communication,
2 minutes to go.
all right. Okay. In terms of communication, they want to have an interaction between the health providers as well as the patients. All right. So moving on to the discussion. So participants suggested including detailed dietary recommendation. For example, if I advise you not to take salty foods, so what kind of salty foods? So how much the salt they can take up to 1 day. And then in terms of recommendation, they want step-by-step recommendation, and they want to have a website that must be credible. It means that the source information must from the evidence-based medicine, not simply by the testimony. As we know, now we have a lot of products, that promote, can, somehow improve the condition, hypertension condition, diabetes condition, and it is not a valid or reliable information that we can rely on. And accuracy of the information, there must be somebody from healthcare professionals to advise or to give information about hypertension. Alright, so as in conclusion, this study managed to explore the preferences of hypertensive patients toward the website. However, it is limited to Malay ethnicity, and we cannot generalize to other ethnicities. And for the contribution, this finding is valuable insight for healthcare practitioners, policymakers, and web developers in creating patient-centered online platform for hypertension. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, is there any question from the audience for Ramadan?
Yes, please, Dr. Lim.
Allow me to ask a question.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure that how is the existing website design for patient generally, and what's so specific for those hypertension patients? Are you studying the Malaysian government agency website or private sector? Yeah, that is my concern.
Okay.
And then how will it be applied? I mean, specifically design a website for hypertension patient. Does it workable? Yeah, those are the questions in my mind.
Right.
Thank you.
It's a very good question, Dr. Lim. If I can share my previous study, I have actually published a paper regarding the quality, understandability and actionability of websites, especially for Malaysian website, in which we categorize into 3 websites category. First is the government website, second is the private sector website, meaning to say from the private institution, and thirdly from individual website. We have a lot of bloggers and whatnot. We shared about hypertension information. So based on these 3 websites that we have explored, we have come up with a result to show that they are understandable, they can give you information, but somehow they are less actionable, meaning to say, you can read the information, but you can hardly try to practice the information. For example, I give you, okay, Dr. Lim, you have to reduce your salt intake. You have to reduce your fried foods. You have to reduce your fast food. But the next question, how much should you reduce, right? So most of the website lack of that knowledge. So based on this study, we come out to advise or give some recommendation to the web developers or any healthcare practitioners to provide very actionable information to the patient. So after they read the website, they can easily apply the information into their practice. So I hope it may answer Dr. Lim's question. Okay? All right. So is there any other question?
Yes.
Hello, thank you, Dr. Ramadan. Just one from me. Because you mentioned that the study is only focused on Malay and due to the culture background, would it be a different finding if it's not meant only for Malays, but it should be general Malaysian? Would it be a different?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We don't have the data yet, but we forecast there will be a different in terms of maybe Chinese may have preferences in terms of different colors when they read through the information. Maybe Malay would like to have red colors. Maybe Chinese, I don't know. Because this is my hypothesis, yeah. Maybe they will write words words in red color. Maybe it reflects something not good, I don't know. But yeah, it's a good thing to explore. Perhaps that one will be my next study. For Indians, for example, maybe they don't like green colors. I don't know. But it is good to study about the differences in terms of cultural acceptance towards health information websites. Yeah? All right.
I don't have any question for you, but this is just a suggestion. As you just mentioned, I know it's a hypothesis, but
Yeah.
we definitely don't have writing in red, because if you use the red in your writing, that means you are going to different someone. Okay, so that's just a suggestion. And I find your study very interesting, to be honest. It's something rather new. So if we don't have any other question, is there any more questions?
We have one more, Dr. Melim from...
Sure.
Dr. Ramadan, very nice presentation. How would you like our Ministry of Education to react upon this study, and also things related with the website and whatnot? Because at the end of the day, it is not the Ministry of Health, but it will be the actions being taken by Ministry of Education for the students.
All right. So it's a very good question, Mr. Alfino, or Dr. Alfino. Yeah, we are actually collaborating with Ministry of Health, by the way, because Ministry of Health is the first, entity that will help the patients to understand about the disease. So we are from the Ministry of Education, based on the recently posted to them. Even now, we are actually collaborating with some of my partners from MOH to improve the website, the current website from the Ministry of Health, because most patients, they will seek information from the Ministry of Health first, then only they go to another sources. Yeah, because they believe that Ministry of Health is supposed to have a valid, credible, and scientific-based website as compared to other entities. Yeah, I hope it answers your questions.
All right. Thank you so very much. Can we move on to... Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you. Now, can we please welcome Nazrul Hadi Ismail for the third presentation, for our next presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Melim, for invitation. So today we would like to present our study on exploring challenges and demands of practicing healthy eating in young adults, a qualitative study. So I'm Hadi from Universiti Teknologi MARA, and my co-presenter, Dr. Al-Mukhlas Fikri from Universitas Singapura Bangsa Karawang. So I would like to invite Dr. Mukhlas to start the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Hadi, for the chance. So next, I'm continuing the presentations by showing you the well-known fact that we are getting fatter day by day, and WHO globally report that the prevalence of obesity reached 41% in 2022 and 16% obese, 41 overweight, and it's projected to be 51% in 2030. So obesity problem is not only faced by Malaysians, I think, but also in Indonesia. And many research have examined the factors that are affecting obesity, but I believe everyone here is agreed there are two main factors. The first is poor diet and also low physical activity. Our current situations, like we consume high energy dense food and also like sugary food, oily food, and also the situations now forces us to have minimum physical activity, making our conditions at risk of obesity. So I think one target populations, which is young adults, they have two sides. The first side, they have a potential to stop obesity because they have good knowledge of nutrition, they have good awareness in healthy eating behavior, and they have a willingness to stop their risk of obesity. But in the other side, they also have a at risk of obesity because the current situations, digital job and something like making us at risk of obesity. So it is quite interested to explore, especially for young adults, to know the challenges and obstacles for having healthy eating behavior to stop obesity. Just give you an example that last year my weight was 75 kilograms, but currently I have 65 kilograms. So yeah, I lose my weight for 10 kilograms for 1 year. I can do this, but why the other people cannot do this? So that's why it's relevant to this study. Next, the objective is for the study is to see the challenges and to see the obstacles of young adults in accessing nutritious foods. Next, we conducted a literature review, but I can summarize for young adults. Healthy eating behavior is crucial to support the growth and also to prevent for the future health issues. But several factors like social, cultural factor, environmental factors, economic factors may become the obstacles of young adults to have or to access healthy foods. So understanding the individual, social, environmental factors are crucial, especially for policymakers to make an effective policy in giving a good policy for combating obesity. Next, we did a phenomenological and qualitative study involving 20 participants and involving young adults, 18 to 29 years, resided in Selangor. They were claimed to have good health with no medical illness. And this study have obtained ethical clearance from Research Ethics Committee UITM. And we conducted in-depth interview. It took 40 to 60 minutes to collect the data until the saturations. And we conducted analysis, thematic analysis and transcriptions. And then we had the findings that will presented by Dr. Hadi, please.
Alright, thank you, Dr. Mukhlas. This 10 kg transferred to me for the last 8 months. Okay, so from the findings, we able to recruit about 10 participants, age ranging from 21 to 26 years old, and 100% of them are Malay, and about 80% of them are university students. So from the interviews, we do the thematic analysis and we come up with 5 main topics, and we merge. We are merged into 20 subtopics and categorized into 13 topics regarding to current practice and challenges in terms of how they perceive on healthy eating. So the first topic is about understanding of healthy eating. We managed to get 2 thematic categories, which is about they are practicing or how they understand about healthy eating. Second category is about their current practice healthy eating. The third one is challenges in implementing healthy eating, which we subcategorize into 3. We categorize into 3 subcategories, which is social, culture, economics, and environmental subgroups. And the fourth one is demand to implement healthy eating, where the participants or the respondents suggest what they want in terms of how the government should improve in terms of implementing healthy eatings. And lastly, the recommendation for practicing healthy eatings. So for the discussion, in terms of understanding and recommendation, our participants at par or their knowledge is similar to what the current healthy eating recommendation available and aligned to the current dietary guidelines. The continuous education and support for young adults is important based on their own age group recommendation in implementing healthy eating. So in terms of guidelines, what the respondents provide the info is quite similar or match with our current nutrition dietary guidelines. Yeah, next slide please. Thank you. In terms of challenges and demands, the previous slide, I think. Thank you. This one. All right. In terms of challenges, of course, the cultural and family contribute into the how they perceive in terms of their practice in practicing healthy eating. Its influence in terms of dietary choices, the types of food they choose or consume, and also in terms of economics, because young adults, they are at the phase of whether they are students or they are just graduating and looking for a job. So they have limited access or limited purchasing power, and as well as the availability of so-called unhealthy food that influence their choices of getting food.
You have 2 minutes to go.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ming. As well as in terms of promotion, that available advertisement available whether on media social or on TV. As a conclusion, individual, parental, and community awareness is important in practicing and promoting healthy eating. It's not only depends on individual, but everyone, the stakeholders play a role in implementing healthy eating. Practical recommendation, there's no one-size-fits-all recommendation. So young adults, they prefer or they require specific guidelines or practical guidelines for them, as well as the stakeholders, the inter-ministry policy and collaboration with school or colleges in terms of delivering the knowledge is also important and could support the challenges and demand in executing healthy eating. I think that's all from us. So thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so very much for your presentation. That's most interesting. And congratulations on losing. I think that for the second presenter, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. Did you say you lost 10 kilos?
Yes. For 1 year, I lost my weight for 10 kilograms.
Wow. So that's in total 22 kilos for both of you in a period of one.
He lost 10 kilos, whereas I gained 8 kilos.
Oh yeah. I think that is this topic is very important because I also lost 13 kilos in 8 months last year. Yeah, so I think healthy diet and balanced diet is most important. I'm not sure if you're aware. I think many years ago, I haven't looked up the data yet, but many years ago, I think Australians, we are I think they did research as a study. I think Australians are the fattest in the whole wide world. We rank number 1. Okay, now, does anyone have any question for this very interesting presentation, this topic? Is it no question?
Since no question from the floor.
Everyone just it's a bit quiet now. Now I have a question about, I think I must have missed it because I think your participants age group, you mentioned it's 18 to 29, and then on the following slide there was, I think it's on your findings slide, there's a age group of 21 to 26 being mentioned. So I'm just curious about that. I might have missed it. Can you please clarify that for me?
Okay, for our inclusion criteria, we target to get the participant between 18 to 29. Refers to the young adult definition by WHO. And in our recruitment, our participants are between 21 to 26 years old. So it's within our target population range.
Okay, would there be any scope for you to do research or study in similar area? But you will look beyond this age group of 18 to 29 in the future, do you think?
Yes, because in this research, we want to engage with young adults, whether their understanding, their challenges and demands are similar or different from other age group. So we will compare with other age groups data in future.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That's all from me. Is there any other questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah, sure.
I just wondering because I'm just wondering because
your respondent is focusing on one races, which is Malays, and when I look at that, you have about only 2 male, right? Yeah. Then can we represent your data to other races?
Yes, of course. We tried. We generally want to get data for general Malaysian population, but for this time around, we only managed to get Malays. So of course, we will investigate among other races, and we compare whether they have the same thought.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now let's welcome our next presenter, Nudiana Zainuddin. Oh, there she is.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, Doctor and friends. Okay, so I'm Diana. Basically, I'm sharing the slides to you. All right. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Alhamdulillah. How about the sounds? Is it clear?
It's loud and clear. Very good.
Thank you. Right. So actually, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, Prof, doctors, and also educator. I'm Diana, going to share with you my concept paper regarding on the knowledge, attitude and practice of conventional medicines among in Malaysia. So basically, conventional medicine is also known as modern medicines and or sometimes called as Western medicines. So for the introduction, basically thalassemia is inherited disorder characterized by defect in erythrocytes or RBC structure or synthesis, and a patient diagnosed with the thalassemia demonstrate a deficiency in their ability to produce an adequate number of red blood cells or their morphology. According to the Futeron and also Viprakasit 2009 and also Tahir et al. 2018, thalassemia is an important health problem as approximately 1 to 5% of the world populations are carrier. And according to the annual report of Malaysia Registry Thalassemia 2020, 4.5% of the thalassemia are carrier in Malaysia, and 8,767 are patient in Malaysia. And look at their age, most of them are between 10 to 14 years old. Means that they are in the adolescence age or level. So from the 8,767 patients, 44.1% of the patients are non-transfusion dependents. Means that they are not currently receive the blood transfusion. And the rest, 55.9% are transfusion dependent thalassemia. Means that they are depending on the blood transfusion for their long life. And either they are non-transfusion or they are transfusion dependent thalassemia. Later or soon or later they may get iron overload in their organs. So they need to take the iron chelation therapy. So recorded in the annual report of Malaysia Thalassemia Registry 2020, currently 62% of the patients are on iron chelation. Basically, in Malaysia, we have three types of iron chelation. We have deferviprone, or we call SL1 usually, and we also have the second one, which is the deferasirox, or also called SH8. Commonly, we call SH8. These two iron chelation are take orally. And we have another one, the old one, we have the deferosamine, which is a Dasperol, where they need to inject the iron chelation for 8 to 12 hours per day for about 5 day weeks. So some of them on monotherapy means that they only take L1 or S8 or Dasperol, and only 26%, only, it's okay. 26%, I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. I was admiring all the diagrams.
Right. Thank you. Right. So currently I'm sharing the slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So only 26% of the patients are on combined, means that they take the L1 with the Dasperol, or they take the S8 with the Dasperol. Okay, so from my finding, I didn't find any research specifically examine the thalassemia patient knowledge, attitude, and practice toward the conventional medicines. Okay, means that the general or all the medicine given to the patients. Okay, but there are some study that do a research about a certain disease, and also certain medication that are also the complication of the due to the complication of the thalassemia. So my study fill the gaps of first, I'm looking at the thalassemia patient patients know, feel, and do about the medicine prescribed for them. And I'm also looking at how patients take their medication and how they follow the recommendation, because most of the thalassemia patients are lifelong treated, means that they have to take the medicine for the whole life, almost, okay, or based on the complication. So basically my objective or my goal is to take it is the best practice for lowering the risk of thalassemia complication, because when they take the medication, they may have a side effect and complication that I will share with you. And the purpose of this study was to determine the prevalence and type of medication prescribed to the thalassemia patient, basically the adult one. So now let's move to the treatment of the thalassemia patient. So basically, usually since they have a problem with the number of the RBC or also the erythropoiesis system, so they have the anemia, and the common practice to treat the anemia is the blood transfusion. Okay, and other than that, they also will be given folic acid supplement. And of course, we know that some person can accept the folic acid. They may have a gastrointestinal problem and what else. And when they take the blood transfusion later, they may have the risk of infection, and also they may have the alloimmunization problem, and also the iron overload, of course. Okay, basically iron overload will be built in both. Either they are transfusion dependent or non-transfusion dependent patient. The difference is either the development is faster or slower. Okay, but later it will also affect the organs. The iron overload may affect the organs. So other complication from the blood transfusion and also iron overload from the blood transfusion, they may have the blood complication. For example, the bone
You have 3
marrow
minutes to go.
will be expand and enlarge. Okay, they may have osteoporosis, they may have the cardiovascular disease. This is the common or the most problem before. Okay, before we have the iron chelation. Okay, most of them happen due to this problem, and they may affect the endocrine system where the growth will be affected. They may have hypertension, they may have the diabetes mellitus, they may have the puberty problem, and what else. And the last one, the most common effect is the liver, where also may cause cirrhosis. So other study that also do about the knowledge, attitude, and also practice towards the medicines. So according to the Kashayar et al. 2018, they found that the average score of the patient knowledge, attitude, and practice were found to be satisfactory. Means that they have a good knowledge. They have the for the Kashaya, they have the low knowledge but acceptable attitudes, and also but they have the poor practice. And according to the Shaker et al., okay, they have a satisfactory of the knowledge, attitude, and practice to medicines. Okay, 73.9% are good knowledge. 78.4% are positive attitudes, and they have also 78.9% are proper practice. However, still some of the patients say because they are continually take the medicine, some of them thinks that that's okay if they not take the medication sometimes. So means that they
I'm so sorry, the time is up.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Now, does anyone have any question for this very interesting study? I love all the diagrams. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to open this to the floor. I don't have any questions for Nudiana. Can I take that as a no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Dunyada. We move on to our last presentation. Sabaruddin Buang.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon, Dr. Neri, all. I believe I can be assistant.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Sabaruddin Buang. Over there, you see the AR and R is basic architect. Same like doctor, they are IR engineer, they are architect. Combination is familiar. Basically, my study is, I think this presentation will be very quick. My study will be trends in the species selection for urban street planting, a thematic review. So together with me, Dr. Suhaili Maulai and Dr. Osman Tahir from Universiti Teknologi Bandung. And also our Nur Intan Simangunsum from Universitas Trisakti, Jakarta. I hope she's online right now. Okay. Next. Actually, my study interest is on the issues on the managing of street trees. So that's why, if you look at the recent issues right now in KL, and I put there some of the paper cutting, and one of the eye-catching is the answers kind of falling trees in KL. Why does this keep happening, and what can be done to prevent accidents and losses? So because recently there's a lot of tree falls in KL, on the road, on the car, on the property, that pose ongoing concern on the safety of public and also the maintenance of the tree as well. So basically, if you look at the fallen trees nationwide cases in Malaysia, published by Bomba, there's a recurring problem on the street trees fallen every year. In 2021, totaling 3,081 cases. 2022, totaling 3,358 cases. 23, 4,835 cases is keeping up. And this year, up to April, is 1,085 cases. So it's very, phenomenal. And basically, the street tree failures in major city are persistently challenged and significantly impacting public safety, tree management, and infrastructure maintenance. That's the key. And basically, our local authority is actually responsible for all this, because the planning and the selection of tree species actually is the task of the authority. And second thing is actually the reactive measure by local authorities, such as preemptive removal of the tree, has been criticized for undermining the long-term benefits of the urban forestry and fostering an unsustainable cycle of planting and removal. That's a study from Hassan University. So basically, my aim actually is to conduct a thematic assessment with the research question: what are the current trends in species selection for urban street planting being discussed from 2019 to 2024? Because my main research actually developing a street tree selection modeling for Malaysia. So that is the main research, but I need to know what is the trend globally. Okay, so the lecture actually, I look at the publication from 2019-24, database from Scopus and Web of Science, keywords using street tree species and selection, and focus on street tree selection, specifically limiting the scope of urban. Yeah? So because the problem is normally at the urban, because we have a very limited spaces in the road. Okay. This is the issues, and also, if you look at the process, next slide. The process begin with developing the research question, setting the focus and scope of the review. Next, the article with screening step. It involves identifying and preliminary selecting, and then applying inclusion and exclusion criteria to refine selection. And fourth step is cleaning, to thoroughly check the metadata for the accuracy and completency, and finally data extraction, conducted using thematic analysis tools like Atlas DI to develop themes from the selected articles. So these structured articles actually combine the research actually utilize the particular selection process to identify pertinent literature from Scopus and outside. Initially, 34 articles were identified from Scopus and 148 from WoS, reflecting differences in index depth. And after merging result, removing 226 duplicates, consolidated dataset underwent vigorous screening, and ultimately 45 studies met all eligibility requirements and were included in the thematic review. So that's the process. So if you look at the trend, research trend over there, the thematic review, actually the United States and China lead in research output, reflecting the strong commitment to urban forestry. European countries, particularly Italy and United Kingdom, provide notable studies with Italy emphasizing multifactorial evaluation of criteria. Australia research focus on species-specific performance. Brazil and Argentina stress the ecological function of open areas, while Asian studies from South Korea and Hong Kong examine the public perception and environmental services. So this is actually the research trend globally. Okay, next. Okay, next. This is actually the result, and I can conclude that the result and discussion over here from the study, we have categorizing research article focusing on different aspects of species selection for urban planting, of which we put a 5 team there. Team 1, urban tree species diversity and selection, comprising 15 articles, emphasizing the importance of diverse species selection to enhance urban forestry. Team 2, environmental and ecosystem services of urban tree, with 9 articles, highlight the critical role of urban tree in providing environmental benefits. Team 3, adaptability of urban tree to climate change, includes 11 articles addressing tree resilience to climate impact, focusing on species adaptability, climate analogs, and drought tolerant species. Whereby Team 4, which is public perception and preference for urban trees, with 5 articles, and Team 5, challenges and strategies in urban tree management, also comprising 5 articles, examines practical management aspects, strategic planning, and addressing low tree diversity drivers. So in conclusion, this review actually underscores the need for a holistic approach to urban forestry, integrating scientific insight, public engagement, strategic planning to create resilient and sustainable urban forests, providing a comprehensive framework and future research and practice. Okay, next. So I just briefly, this is the how interrelated between Team 1, which have 15 articles, the most discussed.
There are 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, the most discussed issues. Second, next. On Team 2, environmental and ecosystem services for urban trees. Yeah, we have 11 issues. Next. Team 3, yes, just for and a few there. We have to look at also the research gap. One of it is the long-term longitudinal existing models often fail to integrate the multifaceted climate and current studies focus narrowly, neglecting broader species. Next. Team 4 on the public presence and the relation, and also the gap over here is significant research gap, include the need for longer longitudinal studies and enhanced public education and policy integration. Next. And the last theme is the challenges and strategy for urban management, the long studies management strategy, and also more research on localized management needed for that. Okay. Finally, for my last next. So this significant advance This contribution typically advance the urban forestry by providing comprehensive analyzing key factors and also localized research and adaptive management models integrating ecological, social, and economic factors. And for future study should also develop comprehensive adaptive management models integrating ecological, social, and economic factors, incorporating the long-term monitoring assessment. So this study is actually very beneficial for students, also professionals who wanted to further study on the models and also selection factors in terms of more localized issues that they find at their own cities or country. So with this, I will use this kind of information and also the trends for my study to develop further my development of tree selection modeling for Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful timing. Is there any questions from the audience? I'm going to open this to the audience.
Looks like this matter is actually on planning, also urban design.
Recently, what happened in Kuala Lumpur? If you don't mind to share what exactly the main issues with the tragic incident or situation happened in Kuala Lumpur in brief, so that for the public level they can understand that it is a holistic issues. It took phases and stages to solve it entirely or completely, but in brief, to have it as a short and brief understanding for the public, how would you explain?
Thank you. Okay, basically, tree planting especially for street planting start earlier during the colonial era at around 1980, where we find trees being planted in Malacca and also in Penang. So during that era, the colonial introduced species that are non-native to our local. Just like a rain tree, it's not native, angsa not native. So most of the tree now is actually problematic for our city. So if you look at the Kuala Lumpur, the most of the trees that fallen is the old trees, maybe more than 50 years. So and then the planting area for that particular trees is not able to cater for the root to develop. So and then the trees actually when come up with the cycle, they will die. People also die, trees also die. So this is very high time for Kuala Lumpur to change all the trees. But we will get the PM also, the Prime Minister also saying, if you cut one tree, you have to plant 100 trees. So the problem is where to plant. So where to plant. So I think one of the trees is the issue is the trees already old, and then the second thing is the right trees at the right place. The trees that chosen at that time is not the right trees because the information about the trees we actually don't really know until we have planted at 50 years, then only we know. So right now it is the government has studied in Jabatan Anak Negara, has studied 200 species that is meant for street planting in Malaysia, which is all are native and all can adapted to the environment of our street. That I can conclude that. Thank you.
Is there any other questions?
No.
I found the numbers fascinating. I mean, throughout the years, there are so many cases, and that's really,
how your study can help government in creating good policies.
Okay. All right. So this study basically gives you the overall view of the trend, the global, including the climate change, public policy, and also the urban stressor. So basically all this we need to integrate into our model, because there's a model outside there developed by other scholars. For example, in 1990 developed by AMER Event Management Services, 1997 developed by Robert Miller in US, and 2015 by Sudipto Roy in Australia, and even in Malaysia also studied by Ramli Hassan 2018. But this study basically is to confirm the factor that being used influencing the selection. So by integrating the character of the trees that we choose. So the government right now have come out with a study of tolerant species. The Jabatan Negara have come out that study. Basically, I'm one of the researcher. Yes, so I know how it's going to be affect the market and also the landscape of Kuala Lumpur. And then what's important is the model. What kind of model? Because each of the authority have different capacity to handle landscape management. So most of the authority don't have that much money. So like Putrajaya and Kuala Lumpur, there's no problem if they could plant trees that flowering and they're beautiful. But for the local authority that have no money, they don't care about the beautification. They only care about the management cost. So this model is very important for us to look which is which. For authority that have money, maybe they can use that kind of approach. Different kind of authority, different approach. So that's why with this model later, when we produce this model, I hope that we can come up with the tools, selection tools that can assist practitioner in local authority and also the consultant outside to choose the right tree for the right place by integrating some kind of AI integrated, because the AI can read what kind of character of the trees. So this is being developed. So I hope it can help the government.
Session. Thank you so much to all the presenters, and I've learned so much from the 5 studies. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for spending your time.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you all. I think that's all from now.
See you. Yes. Thank you so much.
Please send my regards to Yusuf. He's away, I think.
Okay. See you in this conference.
Yeah.
Okay.
See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you to all the presenters for the breakout session 2. Now, as I informed earlier, we will have a group photo session before lunch, and the group photo will be in front of the hotel. Okay.
No.
Yes.
We have one outside, one garden, and
oh, the garden. Oh, first the garden. Okay.
Then we go.
Okay. First location in front of the hotel with the name, and then the second will be the garden next to the restaurant. Yeah. Okay.